It's Monday. You just got done with a long shift at work, and you finally get to hop in your car and let out that sigh of relief. You have free time now. You get home, you cook your meal, and some time passes, and then next thing you know, you only have an hour or two left, and how are you going to spend that hour or two? That's what I'm going to talk to you about today is how you can start to spend your free time on self-improvement and how you can spend your free time on business if that's what you're looking to do. So there was a point where I had my first full-time job and like when I got home from work, I just viewed it as time to enjoy myself. I viewed it as time to like relax, rest, and recover. And I would just kind of be living my life like that. And then somewhere along the line, I learned about this concept of self employment and entrepreneurship, and I got hooked. I learned about this idea of being your own boss and like creating your own schedule and like being able to choose how you spend your time. And I was addicted to that idea and addicted to that concept. So that's how my mindset changed, and I knew that I was going to have to start spending my time outside of work differently if that was the outcome that I wanted to achieve, which was self-employment and becoming my own boss. And so that's where my mindset was. Things have changed since, but I'm just letting you know that that's where my mindset was when I was working at my 9 to 5 job. But anyways, I the things that I did when I like first started off was I spent a lot of time meditating. I spent a lot of time reading. I spent a lot of time journaling, and I spent time working out. And that was pretty much my days for the first half of my full-time job. And the benefits were really good. I came into work the next day a lot more energized. I felt like I was being way more productive at work. I felt like I was contributing more. I was able to have better conversations with my coworkers, and I didn't really have the anxiety and like insecurities that I used to after I started doing those self-improvement routines. So the benefits are good when you actually can spend your free time on things that will like it's going to sound weird but upgrade you as a person and upgrade your beliefs, upgrade how you behave, upgrade how you think, and it's crazy. You get better results when you're at work. You get better results in your daily life. So, yeah, that's what I was spending my time on. And then it transitioned into me wanting to spend my time strictly on business. And so I knew that I was going to have to cut down on some things. I knew I was going to have to cut down on the reading, the meditating, and the journaling, at least a little bit. I was still doing these habits, but I knew I was going to have to at least trim them up because what I was doing was trimming up pockets of time. And then, the more I did that, the more I was able to spend time on my business. And so that's kind of the mindset that I had. I ended up getting to a point where, like 3 to 4 months, every day was pretty much like maximized. And that's all I was focused on was working on business and, on the weekends, business, time after work, business. And I got pretty good at it. I knew I had to trim things up, and that's the skill I learned. So how can you actually implement it in your life if you're looking to like start working outside of work and you think it might be a good idea to start improving yourself? And I know it sounds weird, but upgrading yourself and like working on a business if you want to become self-employed. How can you actually start doing that? Well, the main thing is I would suggest things like reading, meditating, journaling, and it's a good start. The reason that these things are good is because with these things, you gain more like awareness. You gain a lot more awareness of the things actually going on in your life. You gain more like confidence because you understand like the negative beliefs you were having, and you also gain more knowledge from the learning you're doing. And so your mindset totally changes when you start feeding this new stuff into your mind, and you start like learn like having different beliefs about the world. But that's a good start. And then there is going to be a point where you are going to have to like trim up these things and like really focus on business if that's your goal. But I was watching an Alex Hermosi video. He's an entrepreneur, and he talks about this rule. It's called the 5 to 9 rule. You have, if you think about it, you have 5 hours, or you have 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock before work, and then you have 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock after work. So really, you have 8 hours a day that you could be working on yourself and your business. And it paints this picture like we think we don't have time, but really, if you want to, you have 8 hours outside of your full-time job every single day. And then you have the time on the weekends. So don't forget about the 5 to 9 rule. And it's 5 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning before your job. And then it's 5 o'clock at night, and then 9 o'clock at night after your job. And that still gives you 8 hours of sleep. So we have all this time to work on ourselves, and we have all this time to work on our business if we want to. So I just wanted to paint that picture for you. And then this is actually more important that I wanted to bring up, but start to become aware of all the things that are killing your time. And these are things like social media. These are things like watching too much TV. These are things like hanging out with friends all the time. These are things like going out on the weekends. And I know it sounds crazy, but like you are going to have to start getting rid of this stuff if your goal is self-employment, if your goal is developing yourself, and if your goal is to like make yourself more valuable to the market, if you want to make more money eventually. And you're going to have to start getting rid of these things. So how I would do it is to make a list of the things that are killing your time. So if it was social media, say you're spending like 2 hours a day on social media, or like 1 hour a day, then you can write time killers, and then you would write social media on there, and you would write 2 hours. And every day you're going to visit this time killer sheet, and you're going to write a time killer on there. Like if I were to do it today, I actually did like check my phone, and I would write like times that I was checking my notifications. I would write times that I was like clicking on different tabs and getting away from my task. These are all time killers. And if we can become more aware of all the things that are killing our time and like spending our time. My light went out. Damn. Sorry. I'm going to keep it raw here. Okay. But yeah, if we can start to become more aware of the things that are spending our time, then the better. And if I had to give my like younger self advice when I was trying to work outside of work, I would tell him to trim up the like long walks. I would tell him to trim up the journaling. I would tell him to trim up the meditating and keep those things at minimum, because the rest of the time you can be used on your business. And I know it's tough. Like you do find a lot of benefits in these self-improvement routines, but that's when the sacrifice really comes into place. It's like, what do you want? Do you want business more, or do you want to feel good more? Which one? So that's what advice I would give to my younger self. And yeah, that's pretty much it today. Hopefully this can actually help you like learn the skill of working outside of work, and you can start to like maximize your day and like start moving closer to the version of you that's self-employed, or the version of you that's more valuable in your job and more valuable to the market. So hopefully this helps and you got some value out of this. I just started a new school community, and it's a place where I teach entrepreneurial minded young people how to gain more productivity and how to start maximizing their days. So if you're interested in that, click on the link in the description, and I hope to see you in there. Thank you.